Welcome to the Oasis. My name's Mike, and today we're going to be doing a session of Ask Mike Anything. So we're here in sunny California. It's absolutely roasting here. We're both melting in the sun, but we thought we'd do this quick Q&A because we're heading actually home today, right? We're heading back home. The show's over for us. We're like the last ones left.
We're the last ones left. We've been the last ones left already for a couple of days.
That's actually true. So I'm going to be answering a few of your questions which you put out in the comments over the last few days whilst we've been at the event, and we'll just go through them one by one. So I do this every sort of month or so just keep an eye out on the community page of my YouTube channel and my other social media to see when I do these posts, and then you can ask your own question for me to answer. And you can ask me anything you want, it doesn't have to be about VR. So let's just jump straight into it and answer some questions. Okay, so first question is from PBB15 on Instagram, and he asks, did OC5 meet, fall below, or exceed your expectations? You want to go? You want to answer this one?
I think expect.
Yeah.
Like I think everything that was released was kind of what we expected, with the exception maybe of Lone Echo. I mean, even the Vader game, the Vader Immortal game, we also kind of expected that because we saw that the day before. We expected a bit more from Rift. We expected some announcement around the Rift 2, and then the release of the Quest is something that we expected as well. So I think it did not exceed our expectations, but kind of like met our expectations.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that as well. I think the only thing that disappointed me from the whole show was that we didn't get anything from Respawn Entertainment about their upcoming game that was teased last year at OC4. We still don't know whether it's going to be like a Titanfall game or something completely different. And also, we didn't get anything about the Oculus Rift CV2. And there's another plane going overhead. Wave to the plane. Smile and wave, boys. So so we didn't get anything in relation to CV2 either, which not even a tease, which I was kind of surprised about because, you know, I thought we'd at least get like a little glimpse. But they did sort of say during the keynote that Gen 1 is now complete. You know, they've got the Rift, they've got Quest, they've got Go. The circle is complete, and now they're going to be working on Gen 2. So,
and also the stuff that they were showing, the technology that they're working on, it does sound very exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, because of this, like you say, because of the tech, it's not like they're just focused on wider field of view, updated resolution. They're really pushing the boundaries in terms of varifocal displays, dynamic foveated rendering. You know, the amount of research and technology that Oculus are investing in is absolutely insane.
The amount of money that they're putting in R&D is mind-blowing, I think. Because also like they're delivering the Quest at like, what was it, $399?
Yeah.
But I think the amount of research and R&D that goes into that is like maybe double that price.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also worth noting that they're doing something very different from what HTC Vive are doing, also with the Pimax and these other headsets that are coming out. And it's really sort of funding developers. And we met so many developers at this show, and they were saying, yeah, we're part of like the Oculus Start program. You know, Oculus has helped us out with funding and, you know, Rifts and Go headsets so we can do prototyping with our games and stuff. So it's really like Oculus, the ones that are pushing games. I know that PlayStation are doing a great job of that as well, actually. Of course. So it's worth mentioning them.
You can see that in the quality of the titles that they're delivering. I mean, the quality of the titles of the Oculus Rift store, like Lone Echo, like Vox Machina, like Defector, they all seem like really like decent titles that have like some serious backing behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope that kind of answers your question. Let's go for another one. Okay, so this is a question from Bat754, again on Instagram, and he's asking, how did the Oculus Quest feel compared to the Rift in terms of weight and size? Also, do you know what the battery life will be, and or are they waiting to reveal that? Well, we didn't get anything in terms of the battery life. However, what I did notice on a previous patent design for the Quest was that they actually had a USB-C right-angle connector. So that could mean that if the cable is going to run straight down, that it could run straight down to like a battery pack that you could put on your waist for like prolonged sessions. That's my best guess anyway. But in terms of like the main question you've got there in terms of weight and the way it felt, I felt like it felt comparable to a Rift really. It didn't really notice any difference. Maybe it's a fraction heavier. Not that I noticed it, but I guess it must be because there's a battery inside it. But you know, the hard strap does a really good job of making it feel comfortable on your head, just like the Rift does. So yeah, I felt like if you're used to wearing a Rift, you're not going to have any problems with the Quest, right?
Yeah, the controllers do feel a bit different. I noticed something different about the controllers. I couldn't really pinpoint. I mean, we talked about that on the F Reality podcast as well.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really pinpoint what it was, but they do feel like a little bit different.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Actually, it's a good point because the controllers do feel lighter and smaller and more compact. Like the thumbstick was noticeably smaller. I felt, yeah. Not that you would really tell from just playing a game, and it's not like it would hinder the experience in any way, but it just felt a little bit lighter and smaller in your hands. You guys have no idea how many planes go overhead, like literally every few minutes. So let's. I'm literally going to get sunburn here. I can tell.
You're already getting a bit red here.
I am.
No, wait. Just
like wear my little hood. Yeah. In between questions, I'm going to wear a hood so I don't burn. Okay, so this is a question from Joff from Twitter. He said, "How long, if ever, did it take you to get past the screen door effect and start truly enjoying VR experiences?"
I never had to get past the screen door effect.
No.
It's you notice it when you put it on, and then as soon as you start playing the game, you kind of forget about it. You do notice it when you go to a higher resolution, that it's like less of a screen door effect. But when you're playing a game, you rarely notice that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like the only time I really noticed screen door effect was back in the DK1 days when I was playing like the Tuscany demo and stuff like that. But ever since the CV1 came out, it was such a big leap from DK1 to CV1 that I never really noticed it anymore, and certainly not to the point where it's hindered any experiences or games that I've been playing. Like as soon as I'm in a game, like I'm just completely immersed in that game, and I don't even think about it anymore. And even with the Go, you know, the screen door effect is being reduced even more, and the same with the Quest because the resolutions are getting better. So yeah, I've never had a problem with screen door effect. But yeah, I would just say just get into the game, start enjoying the games and not thinking so much about the specs because, you know, we're still a little while off until we're going to get like a perfect experience.
Because even stepping down in resolution for me, from going from the Vive Pro to the Oculus, it doesn't feel like I'm like really stepping down. I noticed it in the beginning that it's a bit more blurry, let's say. But after that, it's like it takes like a minute to get used to.
Yeah, completely. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so this is a long question from Timothy Johnson. He's a fan of the channel. He's been following me for some time, so thanks for your continued support, Tim. He says, "I'm interested in your opinion on this, even if you don't want to include it in your AMA, but I hope you do. I don't intend for this to be negative, but it's just a serious question on the industry. This is all amazing tech without question. The Quest is great for VR arcades with room scale and especially wireless and no PC. But why does Oculus appear to be trying to grab all these varying markets, levels of VR market share and not pushing hard on PCVR? Again, the new stuff is great, but are you disappointed that they're not seeing more an aggressive push towards an advancement of PCVR?" I think it's a good question because Oculus are definitely doing something different from everyone else. We've seen that with the Oculus Go, we've seen that with the Quest, but we know from the keynote that Mark Zuckerberg's vision for the future is like to get 1 billion people in VR headsets, and you're just not going to be able to do that with enthusiast high-end PC VR headsets right now. The market just isn't there. So the way that they're doing this is to drum up interest in lower priced headsets that are accessible, easy to use. Anyone can just go and pick it up and put it on and use it and enjoy a VR experience. So they're going for a different market and a different way of approaching the industry and the sort of consumers that are out there. But I think they're doing it the right way, and I think if I was them, I would be certainly doing the same thing as well.
Yeah, for me as well. I have a very strong opinion about that as well, because I think that they're actually doing more for PCVR than most of the high-end manufacturers out there, because by delivering a headset from $399, they're going to compete directly with consoles. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to have to choose now, am I going to get a PlayStation, Xbox, or am I going to get a Quest? So I think they're putting a lot of VR in a lot of hands, and once those people that have tried the Quest or have tried like one of those more introductory devices to virtual reality, it's a much smaller step for them to say like, you know what, now I want to get like the premium experience, I want to get like high-end VR. So by getting a lot of hands on VR, there's going to be a lot more people that are going to be interested in buying virtual reality high-end. So I do think that that's a very good strategy to go about that. Just get it in as many people, get it into as many people's hands as possible, and then eventually they will trickle down to high-end virtual reality as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you could always pick up a Pimax in the meantime if you really wanted to. If you're desperate for like the highest end VR right now, seems like the Pimax is the headset to go for, and just hold it out for a year until we see what the CV2 is.
Yeah. And in the end, I mean, there will be more people playing PCVR because of this kind of strategy, because there's so much more going around in virtual reality. Because the only way that you can sell headsets is if you have great content, and to have great content you need to have a big market, because otherwise developers are not going to be interested in developing for it. So if you have like 1 billion people indeed in virtual reality, no matter what kind of headset it is, eventually that will trickle down to higher end devices as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're so accessible as well. And I've always said from the beginning that to sell VR, you really need to try it for yourself. And being able to carry these devices around with you mobile, take it to friends' houses, parties, and your family, and get them to try it out is going to be great for the industry, I think.
And at a reduced cost now of like only $399.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I hope that answers your question. So this is a good question from Vincent, and it's about YouTube, VR and YouTube. So he asks, is the VR crowd big enough for popular YouTubers to live from that, or do you still need another job?
Well, I still have another job,
Yeah.
It's only Mike and Nate who do it full time here,
Yeah, that's actually true. And I have to say, so like, the reason why I went full time, like I've been full time for 5 months now, and sustainable fully from like the channel. But those kind of the circumstances that I've got are unique to me, and I was able to make that work. I saved a lot of money when I knew that I wanted to do this full time, just as a backup plan. Also, my outgoing costs on a monthly basis are fairly low because I live with my in-laws. So the circumstances make it happen, but obviously, Nathan's been doing it full time for many years now, and he's still killing it. And it's just a case of, if you've got an audience.
Yeah, it's also about, like, what do you define under YouTube? Because a lot of the stuff that we do has nothing to do with YouTube. We do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. We work together with a large number of people, and not all of that is shown on the channel. It's not all of that is shown on social media. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to like make a living out of YouTube, but it's not only by making videos. And a lot of people need to understand that as well.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a good point, actually, because the revenue I make on a monthly basis, the smallest percentage of it actually comes from YouTube themselves. The rest comes from like affiliate deals or sponsorship deals. And they're the really ones where you can make a little bit of money. But yeah, so far it's going great. So I do hope more people jump ship and sort of start making content in VR full time on YouTube. That'd be really cool. I think the more people that are doing it, the better. Okay, so this is a question from the Alex guy on YouTube. And he asks, would it be possible to take the Quest into the middle of the giant field and play adventure games without boundaries?
That's what I wanted as well, like on the F Reality podcast. Can you like just take this onto like, like a field or something and like just run off into the distance? And I mean, Nate made a good point by saying like, but it needs to scan the environment for you to know where it's located. But it's still something that I kind of want to try. Like, just put it on out in the open, like find like the parking lot. This would be an ideal location. You have a lot of space. It would be interesting to see if it could still track you then.
Yeah, absolutely. We really want to test this out. And like, because a lot of the demos on the show floor, they had like walls, because they were saying like it tracks the floor, the ceiling, the walls. Obviously there was no ceiling on the show floor, but the walls were there. So it's going to be interesting to see if it needs those things.
I wonder if it's like, if there's like a maximum distance or like a maximum like play field that you can cover. Yeah. I don't know if they announced the specifics at all.
No, but I can't wait to be walking through the park and just seeing someone completely immersed in VR going crazy, like uppercutting like people like in super hot in the middle of a field, people just gathering around watching this person. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Especially if you then have like multiple people doing it.
Yeah.
Just imagine like, that they announce like, I don't know, like a Pokemon VR game or something, and you go into the field together with your buddies and your Quest headsets, and you go and catch some Pokemon. That'd be awesome.
That would be freaking awesome. It'd be like that scene out of Ready Player One where you see the guys running down the street and they're like Spartans in the virtual world. That'd be freaking cool. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is a question from Maz from YouTube. What were the demos you were available to try on the show floor, and what was your impression of the overall experience versus Rift? So at the keynote, they announced that there's going to be 50 plus launch titles, including Moss, The Climb, Robo Recall, and Vader Immortal, of course. But on the show floor, they only actually had Super Hot, Face Your Fears 2, Tennis Scramble, and of course Dead and Buried Arena experience, and we tried them all. And in terms of how it compares to Rift, like it compares really well to Rift, I think, because the resolution is actually higher than Rift. Of course, the sort of the experience of the games is going to be like toned down a little bit because you're running this on a mobile processor. But like Superhot and the games we played, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, I don't think, if you were wearing a Rift or not, right?
Well, there's a reason why they use those kind of games, because I mean, Superhot is polygonal. Dead and Bury has like a very cartoony art style, so they're less graphically intensive. It would be interesting to see like one of the more like intensive games, like I can't think of any at the moment. But,
like the Climb.
Like the Climb. How they would run on a mobile processor. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I'm really interested about that one as well. But yeah, in terms of experience, it is comparable with the Rift. But then if you own a Rift already, is the Quest something that you're going to be interested in picking up? I'm not quite so sure because, all those games that we listed that are probably going to be launch titles, we've already had on the Rift for like a year now. And if you've had a Rift for a while, then you've experienced them all already. So
there's two reasons for me why you would, if you already own a Rift, why you would get a Quest. That's one, the exclusive titles. Like if you say like, I want to play Vader Immortal the moment it comes out, then you're gonna have to get a Quest. And the second one is indeed if you want to team up with other people or like want to experience wireless virtual reality. I think then the Quest is the thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like Vader Immortal is likely going to be a Quest exclusive. But I would say now, like if you're interested in a headset right now and you're thinking like, should I go and buy a Rift? Should I wait and hold out for the Quest? It really just depends on whether you've got a VR capable PC is really the question really. If you do own a VR capable PC, then maybe, go for a Rift. If not, then yeah, the Quest is going to be the go for.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so this is a question from Dennis. If you could choose any Rift game to be ported to the Quest, what would it be?
Lone Echo.
Lone Echo?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay. So for me, it's Beat Saber because.
Oh yeah, well I'm expecting that to come to the Quest.
Oh okay.
Like
yeah.
That doesn't come. That makes perfect sense to bring that to Quest.
Yeah, of course.
It's not that graphically intensive. It's a great title. You can play it with the two controllers. You don't even really need the 6 degrees of freedom, I think, to play with the controllers. But it makes it so much more awesome if you have it.
Yeah, totally. Like I was gobsmacked that Beat Saber wasn't announced as a Quest launch title. I have no idea what's going on there. There's no doubt in my mind that it will, because Beat Saber is the VR killer app in my mind right now. It's a system seller, and if that is a launch title for Quest, I think people will go out and buy a Quest just for Beat Saber alone.
Yeah, agree.
But who knows what's going on behind the scenes and why they didn't announce it, but that would be the game that I choose, but I've got no doubt in my mind that will definitely happen anyway. Yeah. Okay, so this is a question from Sir Real Deal. How's Dead and Bury multiplayer on the Quest?
It's amazing. I never played Dead and Bury because I was always a bit like, that's not really my kind of thing. But having tried that in multiplayer, I wanna buy like a warehouse and like just play that by myself and a couple of friends. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, no,
it completely replaces like laser tag or paintball.
Yeah.
Like it's not a chance against it. Not a chance.
Yeah, it was incredible and completely unexpected as well. Like I never expected something like this would be shown at the show floor or even possible with this kind of device. So for 6 players to be in a physical play space, you can interact with the environment around you, and that's represented in real time in game, and everything's tracked in real time. And then they had a roaming camera using an iPad to see like a mixed reality view into the game. Like it just blew my mind. Like the Oculus Insight team were running that demo, and like hats off to those guys and girls because they really, really nailed it.
If there's one title that I would like to see replaced by Dead and Buried, it's the Rec Room paintball game.
Yeah,
see that in like a multiplayer setting, that would be freaking epic.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I would imagine Rec Room coming to Quest, along with like Alchemy Labs games, is definitely going to be a thing that's happening. So yeah, make sure you keep your eyes peeled over the next few months. There's a question from Dark2Deeds. He says, I have an Oculus Go and a PSVR. Do you think I'll be wasting my money getting a Quest?
Yes, I told that before as well. I don't see the Oculus Go as like competing with any of the the higher end VR headset, because I see it more as like a media device, something to go on the go. I think the Quest is something that stands on its own together with the Rift, and PSVR has a lot of great titles, but it's still different compared to like the Rift. So I mean, if I was you and I had the money, I would still get the Quest.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think the only thing that I would say is limiting with the PSVR is the tracking.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't get that 360 freedom to move around in the play space either. So, you know, I would say also it's worth buying a Quest.
If you like the launch title. If you say like the titles are not my thing, then don't bother, because you're going to be waiting for a long time.
What I'd actually do is I'd sell your Go and then buy a Quest, because everything you can do with the Go, you can do with the Quest anyway.
I'm not so sure about that.
No?
Because, I mean, there's still things that you can do on the Go that you can't do on the Rift, like especially with like home, like the social interaction, like, and I still see it more as like a media device that you really go to. You can fold it really nicely. It's very compact.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, if you travel a lot and you want to take virtual reality with you, I would rather take the Go with me than I would take the Quest with me.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point. It is way more compact for travel. Yeah, for sure. So hopefully we've given you some ideas, and then you can make your own informed decision based on what we've just told you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the final question, and this is from Megalodon360 from my Discord. If you want to join an awesome Discord, by the way, and get involved in the VR community, then check out the link in the description below. Go over there and sort of join up. You can meet up with other people and play multiplayer games together if you're struggling to find matches, so it's a great place to be. But he asked a question. He says, I'm letting my beard grow. Can you recommend any particular shampoo or conditioner to make it grow like yours? It's
well,
good.
Mike,
it's good.
That's all for you.
It's a good question. It's a good question. And you know what? I use Zeus beard products, and they're only available in the US actually.
I use Thor.
Yeah, Rowdy uses Thor. But also they do a balm which is really nice called it's like Verbena Lime. It's very nice, very fresh and zesty.
Right. You take it from me. Okay.
So there we have it, guys and girls. That's my Ask Mike Anything session. I hope you guys and girls have enjoyed this one. It's been a baking hot day here in sunny California. There's no doubt I've caught a sunburn as a result of doing this, so please, prayers in the chat for my poor bald head. And yeah, I'm going to be heading home now with Rowdy. We're going to be going on the airplane back to London, and then yeah, I'll be back to schedule as always. So thanks. Leave a like if you liked the video. Make sure you're subscribed for all my future content, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.
Hit that bell.
Cheers.